My son's homework got him suspended. Then his teacher called to apologize at 1 a.m. The principal's voice on the phone was tense. Mrs. Ramirez, we need you to come pick up Mateo immediately. Here has been an incident with his science homework. My first thought was that my 10-year-old forgot to do it again. My second was wondering why that warranted an emergency pickup, but nothing prepared me for what I found when I arrived at Westfield and Offutt 20 minutes later. Mateo sat outside the principal's office, backpack clutched to his chest, eyes red from crying. The school counselor hovered nearby, giving me a sympathetic look that only increased my confusion. Your son brought an inappropriate substance to school, Principal Barnes explained once we were seated in her office. She slid a plastic bag across her desk containing what looked like dried herbs. We have a zero-tolerance policy for drugs on campus. I stared at the bag in disbelief. Drugs, I was just doing my homework. Mateo burst out. Miss Fletcher told us to bring examples of plants with medicinal properties for our Awareness American Medicines project. I brought the oregano from your spice cabinet. Relief flooded through me, quickly replaced by indignation. This is oregano. You suspended my son over cooking herbs. Principal Barnes maintained her stern expression. The substance was identified as marijuana by 3 staff members. Did anyone actually test it? I asked incredulously. We don't have testing kits on premises, she replied. But Mr. D is in the cafeteria, used to work at a restaurant, and he confirmed it has the distinctive smell. So the lunch guy sniffed some oregano and decided my 5th grader is dealing drugs. Mateo's science folder was next in flight with his meticulously researched project on herbal remedies, complete with a chart showing how different American tribes used plants for healing. Next to oregano, he'd written, used for inflammation and coughs. Bomb puts it in spaghetti sauce. Despite the evidence, Principal Barnes insisted Mateo would receive a 3-day suspension while they investigated further. I was too furious to argue more, so I took my son home, stopping for ice cream on the way that night. I emailed Miss Fletcher explaining the situation. I also sent photos of the oregano next to the identical spice jar from our kitchen, along with a picture of Mateo cooking with me last Thanksgiving, liberally sprinkling the same herbs into our family's turkey stuffing. At exactly 1:07 a.m., my phone rang. It was Miss Fletcher, her voice thick with emotion. Mrs. Ramirez, I'm so sorry, she began. I just saw your email. I've been at a conference all day and missed everything. The project was my assignment, and I specifically asked them to bring in household examples of medicinal plants. Oregano was even on my suggestion list. She explained that she'd already called Principal Barnes at home and was driving to school first thing to test the evidence herself. I can't believe no one consulted me before suspending Mateo. This is completely unacceptable. The next morning, Mateo received a full apology from Principal Barnes over the school's announcement system. His suspension was expunged from his record, and the school implemented a new policy. No student could be suspended for substances without proper testing. The best part, Mateo's project received an enquiry with Miss Fletcher, adding a special note, excellent research in demonstration of real-world application. Thank you for teaching our staff an important lesson about jumping to conclusions. As for the oregano, we used it to make pizza that weekend. Mateo insisted on measuring it with exaggerated care, announcing to the family, please note, this is oregano being added to our dinner, not a controlled substance. No need to call the authorities. Sometimes the most important lessons at school aren't the ones in the curriculum.